guys, this is Brittany from Imagine This, a music and art studio for both children and adults, and today we are going over Art 1's lesson. Now it is a new month, so we have a new theme, and so that will be stories. We are going to have you create your own stories with these booklets that we gave you, but we're not going to use them quite yet because we need characters before we make a story. And the characters for our stories are going to be animals. Now we're going to teach you a few different animals and we'll message your parents to ask what your favorite animal is, but today we'll be going over how to draw a dog and cat, since I bet a good majority of you like dogs and cats. So what you will need for this activity, while we won't be drawing in this, you will have a notebook, then everything else you should have at home. You should have paper, pencils, erasers, markers. If it's okay with your parents to outline your work with a Sharpie, you can use a Sharpie as well. But as we're learning how to draw animals, just remember there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. So just keep trying your best, and I bet you'll do absolutely amazing. So let's get started. Alright, so first thing I'm going to show you is how to draw a dog. Now there are several different breeds of dogs, so we can't draw every single one, but I'll show you the general shapes you can use for creating your own dog. So what I like to start off with first is just a nice circle. Now this is going to be the head of our dog. And of course, every dog has a good little snout, so I'm going to draw a smaller circle within that circle. And this is where the mouth and the nose are going to be. So for the nose, you're going to go to that smaller circle inside and draw an oval towards the top of that circle, or even just a little triangle, depending on how much you want the nose to stick out. And the mouth is connected to the nose, so I'm just going to draw a straight line down from the nose, and then just do two little bumps going off of either side to create the mouth of the dog. And then we can either go into the body or the face, but since we have this much of the face done, let's just go ahead and do the eyes as well. Now, there are several different ways to do eyes, but I find that a really cute way to do eyes in this particular style is to go right off of this smaller circle within the head, just doing two big bumps on top of that smaller circle. So now we have the eyes, but now we need the pupils so we can tell where the dog is looking. So I'm just going to draw some dark circles inside of those eyes to represent where the dog's looking. Right, so now we have the cute little face, and if you want you can add like spots or something around the eye, but that's your choice. We're going to go on and do the body as well. Now for the body, what I like to do is do sort of like an oval type of shape, and this will be more of a sitting position. And I'm going to sort of flatten it at the bottom, that way his bum will be nice and flat on the ground. Awesome, and then we are going to do the front paws. Now they're not going to be directly way up here. That'll make him look a little weird and more like human arms. So what we're going to do is actually go inside of our little squat rectangular shape. We're going to draw some straight lines going down towards the bottom of that shape. So basically 4 straight lines in the middle of this rectangle shape. And now, of course, they're not just absolutely straight. You have to have cute little paws as well. So I like to do just simple little circles, and this will cross over this shape. So of course, if you have an eraser nearby, you can erase as you go, or wait until you're all done and just erase the inside. Then I'm going to do the other paw. All right, and then for the legs, what we're going to do is we're going to go about halfway in that rectangle shape we have. Just going to draw some circles going down and meeting up with the paw right here. Now this is a nice and good sitting shape for a dog. We can show you other ways to show them as well. All right, so now that we have his haunches or hind legs, we need his back paws as well. So what we're going to do is very similar to the front paws, and we're just going to draw these small little ovals going off the side right there. And again, you're free to go in with your eraser, just start erasing some of those lines that don't really belong there. Then, of course, one thing we are missing at this point are some ears. Now, you can choose what size you want the ears to be. If you want them big, like a Chihuahua's, or if you want them more saggy, like Snoopy, you can do that. I like Snoopy, so I'm going to do some big wavy ears. So what you're going to do is go up to the top circle where the head is, and what I like to do is, starting off, I do rectangles. Now that's a very sharp ear, but this is just construction. I'm going to do this on the other side as well. All right, so those are very rectangular, and I want them to have more of a flowy look, so what I'm going to do is just draw little wavy lines going into the ear to make it look a little more floppy and characteristic. Just a little happier and a goofy dog. All right, and one more thing I'm going to add is a happy little tail over here. What you do is you draw a very skinny triangle going out from behind the legs. Or if it's wagging back and forth, you probably won't be able to see the tail. But I want to show that he is a very happy dog. All right, and at this point, we're done drawing the dog, and you can add any details you want. You can add a collar, or maybe those spots I mentioned earlier, make it like a Dalmatian. Or maybe if you want to be a furrier dog, just start adding little spiky fur to the side of your drawing. Make it look so fluffy. But that is basically how you draw a dog. So now let's go on to cats. Cats honestly have a very similar shape if we're doing a front look. It's just they have a few different characteristics than dogs have. For example, with a cat, we're going to start off with the same circular head, but cats don't have nearly as big of a snout as dogs do. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a much smaller circle, more towards the center of their face. They do not have big snouts. Theirs are smaller, more angular. But their noses can be pretty similar as well, but I would make mine more like a triangle just because cats are very sharp and witty animals. So their features need to reflect that as well. So I'm just going to do a triangle nose right inside of that snout. But their mouths are also pretty similar, just going down with a line and doing those two swoops off to the side. There we have the mouth of our cat. You can do the eyes the same way, going off of the snout, just big swoops going up, and then filling it in with this circle to show where the eyes are looking. And again, this part's pretty similar as well with the body, just going down with a rectangle and rounding it off at the bottom to show where they're sitting. And this is all pretty similar to the dog as in for the body construction. But where the cat and dog are going to differ the most are going to be the ears and the tail. Because while some dogs have really long tails, majority of the time you're going to see a cat with a long tail. And then maybe you'll see them with their claws. So if you want to, you can add just little lines at the bottom of their paws to show that they have a nice set of claws. Just copying that on the sides, very similar to the dog, just adding those oval shapes, and then some more paws to the back. Erasing lines I don't want as I go. Put a few more claws on the back feet as well. All right, and then the ears. The easiest way to do cat ears is just imagine two triangles on either side of the head. So I'm going to put one over here and one over here. And if you want your cat to have a little more character, you can even add little spikes in the ear. Because I know some cats have just like this little area of their ear that's taken out. Give it a little more character. Then we have our tail. What I like to do for tails is I like to do sort of a wavy S shape or a backwards S, and then I just follow back around. There I have my tail. Now, one very important feature that I forgot to mention are the whiskers. Lots of cats have whiskers. While dogs have whiskers, theirs are much smaller. You can't see them that well, but cats have very prominent whiskers. So what we're going to do is just draw big lines going from the center of the face by his nose all over and off of his face. You can make them as long or as short as you want. If you want to, there are some cats that actually have small whiskers above their eyes. So if you want to make it look a little more realistic or just add a few more details, you can do that as well. And again, you're free to personalize this however you want. Maybe look like Tigger and give him a ton of stripes. That is totally up to you. So that is how you draw a cat and dog. We would love to see some pictures of the drawings you create, and we can't wait to see what you'll do with them in your stories. Bye!